Hi everyone, in this video what we're going to do is we're going to set up everything that is necessary to install the SyncFramework application template. This template includes a XAF application for Windows Forms for Blazor, also includes the synchronization server, and also includes a Xamarin application for iOS and Android. Okay, so first things first, here we explain a little bit what the SyncFramework is. Also, we explain that it's a commercial product, and if you need more information about licensing, you can write to this email here. Okay, then the requirements. So there are two basic requirements. First, you need to have the Devexpress NuGet feed in your computer. So this page explains you how to do that. Also, you need to have the BitFramework's NuGet feed. So for that, you can just copy this line, go to a console, and let me clear this, and paste that. In this case, it says that I already have it, so that's why you see this error, but if you don't have it, you will not see that error. So let me clear this. Okay, after that, you're ready to install the template. So there are three ways to do that. The first one is maybe you have the NuGet file available. You can download it from here, from the releases. But the preferred way is to actually get it from the feed. That's the idea of setting up the feed. So to get it from the NuGet feed, you can do it in two different ways. Using this line specifies the version that you want to install. This is the last version of the template. It's not the version of Developer Express or the SyncFramework. It's the version of the template. So the version 21 for this year, and we're in version 1.13. So I will, I guess, write something about the version in here. Okay, so next, you can also use this line. These lines basically do everything at the same moment. So it installs the template from a specific NuGet feed. So you can also use this one. But in this case, I will get the second one and execute this here. And it says that I already have it because I just installed it like 5 minutes ago. But in your case, it will just install and you will not see this red warning here. Okay, so after that, you can copy this command so you can get some help about the template. So let's clear the console and paste this here. Okay, so here it tells you that it's for a line of business application with offline client, and that there are two options, one for Android and one for iOS. So if you want both applications, you should actually use both parameters. So here also in this section, how to create a new project, it shows you, okay, if you want only a XAF application with the sync server, you run this line, you replace the command, like your project name for your actual project name. If you want XAF, the sync framework, the sync server, and Android, you can use this line. And if you want iOS, you can use this line. But if you want both, you can basically execute this last line. So it will include iOS, Android, the XAF application, the sync framework, and it will name it as you wanted to name it. Okay, so here we have a little bit more of documentation on how you should expose your local servers to the internet. So you need that the emulator, your physical device, or anything that you use to test this framework, that you need to allow it to connect to your synchronization servers. So there is a way to do that. This is the official Microsoft documentation, which is kind of complicated, so it's up to you if you want to follow this way. But we suggest to use something like ngrok. Ngrok basically creates an HTTP tunnel that forwards the communication from outside to your Visual Studio. Okay, so let's close this. And then there is a little bit of documentation on the build props of the solution. So here it shows you all the possible parameters and the meaning. So to learn more about that, you can read this part. Basically, it's a centralized place to update your Devexpress version, your SyncFramework version, and the type of nugget if you're using the demo version of the SyncFramework or the licensed version, and also some infrastructure things that you need for the communication. So I guess that is done. So let's go to the getting started guy. Okay, so first we need to create an application, right? So let's create this application, but we will not name it demo app. We will change the name because I already have like a few demo apps, so I don't want to use an old database by mistake. So I will put this in Notepad and we'll name this getting started. So let me copy this line from here. I close this and let's go to the console. So let's go to the desktop and let's go to getting started. Okay, so let me paste this line here and let's see what happened. Great, so see, it creates an application for us. So let's go to that directory. I have it here. So it creates this directory, and inside you can see that there is a SAF application and a SAMain application, and also the build props file. So let's open this. And let's build the application for first time. Because if you have used Xamarin before, you know that sometimes it shows like these red lines, like you have an error, but even though you don't have any error there. So that's why we need to compile the application at least one time. And then we need to close the studio. That is not because of something that happens because of the SyncFramework or because of SAF. It's something that happened with Xamarin in general. It's like a problem with the tooling, I guess. So let's compile this, and then I will close the solution and open the solution again, because otherwise, even after compiling, you will see that if I open a file, there will be like red lines everywhere. And see, even when the compilation succeeds, it's going to be like that. So okay, let's wait a little bit till everything is done. It should compile, I think, like 8 projects here, and then we can close the solution and open it back. Yes, all succeed. So let's close solution and then open the same solution again. Okay, so in the meantime, let's go back to the documentation. So we have done that. So okay, how do you add a business class or a domain object to your Xamarin application? So here, this little part of the documentation explained how does that work in SAF. So basically in SAF, you don't need to register your types. There is a method that do it for you. So if you open this document here, it shows you that in the module, basically this is what is happening inside. By reflection, it gets all the declared persistent types, and it include them in the types that you will use in the application. That doesn't happen in Xamarin. So in Xamarin, for example, you can go to the application app XAMLCS, and here you will see that there is a method that is called get persistent types, and you'll see that all these types are the ones that are needed for SAF, and we added this type as an example. So every time that you add a new domain object to your application, you need to come to this method and add it in here. Otherwise, you will get a schema out. You need to update the schema type of exception. So let's go back to the documentation. Okay, so Basically, after that, the thing that you need to know is how the security system is being used. So you know that for a SAF application, you need to specify the type of user and the type of role that you're going to use. So you can click here to see the file actually, but in this file you should see the lines like this. So here is specifying the type of role, and here is specifying the type of user. The same goes for Blazor. If you go to this file, you will see that here is specifying the type of role, and here is specifying the type of user. So in the Xamarin application that happened in the app XAML-CS, there are two methods. One is get user type. So depending on which user type are you going to use, you can basically override these well, you don't have to override, you just change the return type here, and the same goes for role. So in this case, we're using, see, like all the three applications are using the same type of user and the same type of role. So okay, let's continue. This application should start in a multi project startup in kind of way. So see, here I highlight the two applications on yellow are SAF applications, so you can start any of them or both if you want. You need to start the Sync server. This is mandatory, and you can start at least one of the blue applications that are like iOS or Android. So let's do that right now. Let's go here and let's go to properties and multi-startup. Then I will start the Win application, and I will start the Sync server, and I will start the Android application. So far so good. Okay, now before I continue and I forget about this, I need to do a small change. So basically, let's view Solution Explorer here. Okay, so I have a small problem with my local DB, so I will have to change the connection string. You don't have to do this. This is something that is happening just in my computer. So I will go to the settings here, and basically I will get this and replace it with my name instance of SQL Server. So my name instance is MSI, so I will replace all of this. And okay, it replaced 6, but I need to make sure that it replaced all of them. So see, here is we have 2 slashes for the name of the instance. So it means that in Windows Forms it didn't replace them. So let's go here and see, here we still have the old name. So I will copy this, paste that here, so with just 1, and let's replace, you should replace 3. Okay, so now we know that we're aiming to the right place. So just let me open Management Studio to see that those databases actually they doesn't exist. Okay, so let's see, getting started. Okay, we don't have them there. So far so good. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back to the documentation. Okay, we have the multiple startup. So after that, basically here it explains you the URLs where the applications will be exposed. So your SAF Blazor application will be exposed in this URL, so port 44319, and the Sync server will be in 44318 in this URL. So we need to make at least this one to be accessible from the internet, so the emulators or the devices can see it. So for that we will use nrock. So I talk a little bit about nrock. Basically it's a proxy tunnel that exposes your local servers, the one from Visual Studio, to the internet. So you can read more about that in the nrock page. The link is on the last document that I showed you. So here it shows you like, okay, see, like the the address that is highlighted in yellow is pointing to the sync server, which is 44318, and the one that is highlighted in blue, it points to the placeholder application. So we at least need the yellow one. So okay, let's start the application. So what I'm going to do is, just because I like to do it this way, you don't have to do it this way, I go to the device manager and I start the emulator. Okay, so basically, oh, it was running already. Good. So basically, after this, what you need to do is you need to run your application. So let's run it. And okay, let's open the emulator so you can see it loading. Okay, so yeah, the mobile application is working. So soon, I guess the Windows Forms application will start. And see, the sync server is being started also. So here we have the URL that I showed you before. And here it will show something like this is working or something like that. That's the text that we wrote there in this controller. So yeah, see, this is working. And basically, let me explain you something before I log in the Windows Forms application. So if like you have used SAF before, you know that in the module there is a class called the module updater. So here basically it executes, after it creates a schema for the database, it executes this code which creates a sample user, creates the default role, creates the admin user and the admin role. So that means that you need to basically sign in the SAF application at least one time. So the framework saves that information, the one that creates the first user, first role, and uh, so you can have it available for your Xamarin application. So let's log in. So when we do this, basically SAF will execute this updater, and the framework is tracking those changes in the database. So you can have the first user and role available for Xamarin. Okay, so we have only these users here. We have the roles, and products is empty at the moment. So okay, now what we need to do is let's go back to the tutorial. Let's expose our service with nrock. So for that, let's go to nrock, start nrock tunnel. So this will create an HTTP and then an HTTPS URL for each web application that you have in your solution. So we end up with 4 URLs. Why? Because 2 of them are HTTP and 2 of them are HTTPS, as you can see here. Okay, so the one that we need is the HTTPS address to the port 44318. So let's copy this one because we will use it a little bit later. Okay. So let's go to the emulator, and as you can see here, I cannot log in. Why this is disabled? Because the helper that allows you to log in and to synchronize data is not being initialized. Why? Because there is no configuration for it. So let's go to settings. I mean, you can read about that actually in the documentation. I explained that here, that you need to go to settings and see like everything is disabled at the moment. And after you synchronize for the first time, you will have the URL and the identity, and you're able to synchronize. See, here is enabled, and then you're able to log in. So let's do those steps right now. So settings, here I will paste this. Okay, we have the URL. So you need to set up an identity. In this case, since there is no identity provided, it generates something like the model of the device, and then the name of the device, and something like that. Is here you can see the line that do that. Let's see, maybe I remove it. No, here it is. So the first identity is generated by the device name, model, and manufacturer. So that's what you see here. You need to have a unique identity for each device. So this will be me. So let's save this. And after I save, the synchronize is enabled. So let's open the Enroll console here. And you will see when I synchronize, it will do a full synchronization, that is pull and push. So synchronize. See, there are one request, two requests. So that means that I send whatever was in the device, and then I got everything from the sync server, everything that other clients create. So in this case, what was created by the Windows Forms application. Okay, so let's go back. So now we are able to log in. So let's try to log in with the admin user. And it works. See, here it shows the last time that I synchronized, the URL that I'm using to synchronize, the identity of this device, and how many transactions I need to still synchronize that are local but are not in the server. So at the moment is 0. So let's make this offline. So okay, so basically we have login in the application, and we can go to the products list view, or list page, that's how I call them in here, and add a product. So we know so far that there are no products here, and this is offline, right? So let's add a product. The product will be 001, will be pizza, pepperoni, and I will do this. You can like save the icons actually, and this is a tasty pizza, and save it. So we have pizza here. Still nothing here. Let's add a new product. 002. This will be cat. Let's see if I can get the icon. Cat food. Food for cats. I like that in mobile you can see the icon really nice. So still here we don't have anything, and we are offline here. If we go to home, there are 3 transactions to synchronize. So let's try to do that, and we'll get an exception. Why? Because the device is offline. Let me show you where the exception is happening. So if we go to the mobile application, to the home view model, here is the command that executes the synchronization. So see, it's in a try catch. It tries to synchronize, then if you synchronize successfully, you set the last synchronization date to the now time in general, and then you get the count of transactions that you're still missing to synchronize. Otherwise, you get the message. So here, I will put a breakpoint there and try to synchronize. And okay, it didn't stop for some reason, but sometimes the breakpoint doesn't stop in Xamarin. So anyway, so here you can put a more user-friendly type of message in. I'm just forwarding the exception, but you can do whatever you want there. So let's put this online. And now let's try to synchronize. Okay, so this is something related to the breakpoint that I just said. It happens to me sometimes. is not in the framework. So let's go and see here. See, we have cat food, and there is a little cat there actually. I hope that you can see it. And there is pizza, and there is a pizza icon there. So let me stop this because the Android application stopped. But let me put the breakpoint here. I think when I set the breakpoint and it's already running, sometimes that happens to me. But I think it will not happen on your side. I know that it will not happen on your side actually. So let's do a few more operations. Okay, so we have the products here. And let's log in again. Okay, so we have the pizza and the cat food. Let's go offline again, and then let's create something here. So this will be 003 product from desktop. Not so creative. And it's going to be active, and let's save this. So in here, again, if I go to the product list, there is nothing here. So if I turn this online, and I go to home and synchronize. Okay, synchronization is done. Maybe I should put something more that tells you that the synchronization is done. But anyway, let's come here to products and see we have the product from the desktop. And what I will do in this case, I'm going to come here and I'm going to delete it. And now we still have it in here because I have not synchronized. But when I go home and synchronize, then you'll see that it was deleted in here. So, well, that's everything for this tutorial. I hope that it was kind of easy to understand. I tried to make my best effort in the sense that make the template as useful as possible. Any feedback is welcome. And now that I'm telling the goodbye part, thanks a lot to the Safer Andres Vanegas from Colombia. He helped me by basically doing corrections on the tutorial. He was the first person who followed the tutorial and was successfully or basically achieved creating an application with offline synchronization. So thanks to you, Andres. I really appreciate your time that you spend doing this. And well, that's everything for this video, guys. So I will continue posting tutorials. So I hope that you like this, that is useful for you. If you have any doubt, you can basically post an issue. You can go here as any GitHub repository, go to issues and post any problems that you have on your side. So, well, thanks again for your time and see you guys on the next video.